Hello, everyone. This is Julian Ickham, and I am here with Reverend Dumitru Ickham, and we're here to talk about censorship. I think that this is a very, very, very important issue and one that we are all facing. Uh, Mr. Ickham, you have some theories on some things that you wanted to say earlier.
Yeah, I was very happy about a project of a student in Republic of Moldova about one of my poems and his project about how beautiful is Romanian language. He got the first prize on the country. Republic of Moldova is uh,
And what happened when I tried to share this video?
and all my family was happy and all my friends. It was more than 450 likes on the poem,
Mhm.
and this video was placed, and Julian tried to uh, share the joy with some other people, and I was without any words when I saw the red warning. A security check is required to proceed. If you think this doesn't go against our community standards, let us know. Julian, we want you to explain what the Facebook understand by community standards. I know we have God, we have Constitution, and we have family. And in Constitution, the Article 10, the
Yes.
10th article said uh, we have the right of expression. So this is a
So, to
right.
go to what Voltaire said, freedom of speech isn't something you say when you agree with the person. Freedom of speech means defending a person's right to say whatever they want to say, even if you disagree. Now, September 21st, 2021, uh, Facebook closed down all of the 32 county sovereignty movement pages. According to Facebook, it is because it violates Facebook dangerous organization policy. Now,
And
to me,
let me say what in the response the 32 CSM
mhm,
replied. We'd like to state on the record now that we are not a dangerous organization. So we are not a dangerous organization. We are not proclaim any violent mission. These accusations are defamatory and designed to fit the narrative being pushed by Britain down.
mhm.
What this essentially boiled down is black propaganda and political censorship directed by British intelligence in an effort to thwart any still upholding traditional Republican values.
So,
So,
this is basically what is happening right now from what you read. Once Facebook was able to censor the 32 CSM in a country far away from Canada and the United States, in a country that is colonized where police officers walk down the streets with rifle, Facebook now became the voice of other governments. And let's be honest, one of the reasons they're going after you and your poetry isn't that they hate poetry or that they find poetry boring or that they would rather have something else to do. It isn't that you said anything that offends them. The fact is that you support who is a candidate who is against NATO, wants Romania. No, not against NATO. She wants Romania out of NATO. She sees no value in Romania being part of NATO and wants Romanian sovereignty. She doesn't want Romania to
Like
be either.
what means to be in NATO? Is a good thing, is a bad thing, it doesn't matter. But the ambassador of France coming to Romania and what 5 ships
Mhm,
and they tried those old junk,
mhm.
to put the Romanian government to buy because we are NATO members, and you see, uh, all
See, the
things.
question
Yeah,
right now is a bipolar division of the world divided, like you said. And Romania is a small country caught between two countries. On the one hand,
it's
you have the
squish,
bear. Yeah,
squish.
squish. Squish. On the one hand,
Um,
you have the bear, and on the other hand, you have the eagle. In 1968, Romania was the only country that refused to participate in the invasion of Czechoslovakia during the Warsaw Pact. So they've been playing this game for a while, trying not to be squished by either the bear or ripped apart by the eagle.
and to have your sovereignty.
Yes, and
And
that.
we have a constitution, and they don't care. Who- Like we have our laws. There is
Mhm,
no better laws than on top of sovereignty.
mhm,
Sovereignty is God. Let's say in a way like that. You cannot go
mhm.
over this.
Yeah.
You have sovereignty and you have constitution. So
And the
yeah,
Constitution must come from sovereignty. The Constitution can't be something that is imposed on you. The Constitution must be the thing that unifies everyone in a republic. Is this Constitution, is this document that says this is what we are. We believe in this, we uphold this,
right.
etc., etc., etc. Now, this is the scary thing about Facebook. Facebook has become a nation unto itself, and it will tell us what we can and can't say. Say for example, you put a post that Facebook doesn't like. It puts on top of it fake news. Like they're the ones to say who is fake news and who isn't fake news. Uh, I think that's quite horrible. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, yeah. It would create a precedent.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they said a security check is required to proceed, it sounds like a penitentiary, somebody put in a jail, and you don't know, like in Kafka. Do you remember
Yes,
in
the
Kafka?
trial, the
Yeah,
trial.
you don't know what is wrong. You don't know where to reply, what to say, like a security check, and it was read.
And the irony
And
of all of this is, if you look at most of my posts are political posts. Most of my posts talk about political issues, issues that need to be discussed, and this issue of sovereignty. But because they were allowed to silence the 32 CSM on Facebook with little to no resistance, they are now doing this to everyone. They are doing this to Shoshwaka, who is a Romanian politician who is refusing to toe the line of NATO and EU. They are doing this in Transnistria. They are doing this to any nation. They are refusing to block this off. They're doing this to Venezuela. They're doing this to Cuba. And the question is, who decides this? Who decides what the community standards are? Who decides what is real news and fake news? Clearly, according to Facebook, it's the corporations that decide this, not the people themselves. So they're saying we're too stupid to figure out what is real and what is fake.
yeah, and talk about this poem.
Hmm.
This pure censorship. It's an
Mhm.
innocent poem that a student made a project analyzing my poem. And it was no political, no terrorist poem, no inciting to hate or to any against community standards. It was a poem how beautiful is Romanian language.
The question,
So I,
the
I
question,
feel trampled down and it hurts me because
the question is,
next,
how do you destroy a people? You destroy a
yeah,
people by taking away their culture. You destroy a people by taking away their language. You destroy people by taking away their territory. And most of all, you destroy people by taking away the right to determine their own destiny. And what they are trying right now is they are trying to crush the Republican movement in Ireland. And they're doing this. Facebook is playing along. Facebook started shutting down these pages based on some community standards, and no one said anything. And now Facebook is doing the dirty work of the police, of like the
intelligent,
Anglo
int-
Imperialist Alliance.
intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. They're
Yeah.
doing the intelligence work. They're doing the work for the intelligence. They're identifying who the dissidents are, who does not agree with the status quo. They're giving this information to the police,
And
and they're open about it. They say
yeah,
quite quickly in their thing that we will give our information to a third party. So that means that they will give the information to the police. Sorry for cutting you off.
yeah.
What were you going to say?
Like the divine thing in man is freedom to be
Mm-hmm.
free.
Mm-hmm.
You have the arms to embrace,
Mm-hmm.
to bless with the arms,
Mm-hmm.
but when you have uh, your arms, uh, when they take the freedom,
Mm-hmm.
you are nothing. You are not human. They take what you are in itself. A man in itself is freedom. God created man and gave him freedom. You love me or not. That's what God said. The faith will say, you have to eat this, you have to drink this, you have to do this, you have to behave like this. You do what we are telling you, or otherwise, community standards.
See, the
Uh,
question at the end of the day is who decides? Is it the people that decide, or is it Facebook that decides? And as long as Facebook has a monopoly on social media, which they do not have the right to censor people. And not just about poems. They do not have a right to censor people for saying that our nation has a right to sovereignty. They do not have the right to censor the 32 CSM, right? So there's a saying, I forget who it was, but if they come for us at night, you know eventually they'll come for you in the morning. And there's another saying, it was like, when they went after the Jews, I said nothing. I wasn't a Jew. When they went after the Catholics, I said nothing. I was not a Catholic. When they went after the trade unionists, I said nothing. I was not a trade unionist. When they went after the communists, I said nothing because I was not a communist. When they came after me, there was no one left to speak. So this attack on the 32s was a prearranged way to create for Facebook a way to impose their will on all their enemies and say what is and what is not true. And because no one spoke when they went after Facebook, when they went after the 32 CSM, because like they're not saying anything when people are going after, when Facebook is going after Shoshwaka, who is going to be there when they like with push their community standards on you? Who is going to be there when, you know, you're the one who's being censored. Either there is freedom or there is not freedom. There is no halfway. Either we have the right to speak or we don't have the right to speak. There is no such thing as saying you have the right to speak as long as you say what we want you to say.
What do you think will be next?
Well, like, the reality of the situation is more and more people are going to the dark web, and more people are going to the deep web. People are starting to realize that Google's and Windows is fake news. People are starting to realize that Google and Windows not only monitors your private data, but gives it over to the police, gives it over to the state, and uses it to criminalize you, not for something that you have done, but what you think about. Like, there are people in jail right now in Ireland and here in Canada for having documents or for having a piece of paper with some writing on it and that sort of thing. And, like, this is a fact. There are people who are being killed for the poems that they write all over the world. And Facebook is guilty. Facebook
Yeah.
has blood on its
We
hands.
have to stand up for our freedom.
If we don't stand up for our freedom now, when there's a knock at the door, no one will stand up for us.
Right.
Thank you very much, and see you next time.